Oh, good day, and welcome back to Famous Faces, Familiar Places. As you've seen in each episode, I've come in here and I've taken some person from popular culture and painted their portrait. This is by the way, my name's Jason Swain, and this is Jay Leno, big personality on The Tonight Show. Recently retired from The Tonight Show and handed it over to Conan O'Brien, but in September he's coming back with a new show. And it's just one of those pictures I found. They're just very sort of another striking sort of a painting. He's got a very famous face, of course, but he's got some very striking features, and that's what I sort of look for in a painting is striking features. Of course, he's got the trademark chin, which has sort of worked in his favour. I know he got ribbed about it over the years, but he's got this very prominent chin, which sort of became his trademark. But once again, I'm going to come in there. I'm probably going to start with the eyes again, just to sort of get my whole rhythm going. But he was born James Douglas Muir Leno in 1950 in a place called New Rochelle, New York. And his father was Italian and his mother was Scottish. So fairly unique mix. And his mother was a housewife, and I think his father sold insurance. I think so. I think he sold insurance. But this is going to be a little bit tricky because we're working with a totally different skin tone, and the light source is a little bit different on this one too. It's a little bit more blander, so to speak. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start doing a little bit of the eyes straight away. For me, portraits, it's always hard to start them. Once I get started, I'm fine, but it's finding a starting point, getting that first colour on there, and sort of getting into it. That's the hardest part. And once I get rolling, I'm fine. But yeah, Jay is quite the character. I always enjoyed his headlines part of his Tonight Show, and I think he's bringing that back to his new show as well. So he was in competition with David Letterman. I think he beat David Letterman out for the job of the Tonight Show originally after he took over from Johnny Carson. And I know there's a fair bit of animosity between the two, but he spent, 17 years there at the Tonight Show, so I guess he was successful enough. But as I come in here, I'm going to... blue eyes are kind of hard and tough. I mean, it's tough to paint because when you look at them, you say, okay, they're blue. But they're kind of more of a grey colour on the bluish side, and you've got to sort of tweak it a little bit. And... which is what I'm trying to do here. And also create that little bit of light source coming from one side. And yeah, he's got a very unique face. He has I'm trying to think that he had some condition, actually medical condition, which gave him that shaped jaw, believe it or not. And there was an option where he could have had it fixed, but he chose not to because it sort of became his trademark. Now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to start doing the shadowed areas of the whites of his eyes. But he was turned down. Apparently he found out sort of later in life that he was dyslexic. Which could account for his difficulties in school. He was turned down at the Emerson College in Boston, and apparently he picketed. He sat outside the college until they would let him in. So he's a very determined sort of a guy. Of course, we all know about his car collection. He's got a, he's one of the few owners of a, I think it was a $870,000 McLaren F1. So he's, I can't remember what count of the cars he had, but he's a huge car enthusiast. Of course, he runs that section on his show called Leno's Garage, which is people come in and check out his collection of cars. But he, as you can see, you can sort of already see the eyes are sort of taking shape there. But apparently he does, from someone told me that he actually makes his living off his stand-up performances. He travels the country quite a bit doing stand-up, and apparently all the money that he made on his Tonight Show gigs, he saved it. So, you know, at $17 million a year, that ain't a bad gig. His wife's name is Mavis, and she does a lot of humanitarian work with Afghan women and women's rights work in the Middle East, and she was at every taping of his show. And so as you can see, his eyes are starting to take shape a bit there. I'm sort of talking and concentrating at the same time, and I've got to keep dipping my brush in this little liquid on the side where my Vegemite jar is to keep my brushes kind of wet. Actually, when Jay Leno was early in his career, he actually dreamed he was going to take over Johnny Carson's job. So I guess his dream came true. Now I'm going to come in here and try and get his wrinkles done on his around his eyes. He's got that sort of funny hair where, you know, almost looks like a skunk. He's got that stripe down the middle of his hair, and that stripe has got smaller each year. I guess we all get old. I'll be glad to just have some hair by that age. So I can't make fun. But yeah, a bit about me. I grew up in an area called the Sunshine Coast in Australia. Sort of a small surfing, fishing village back when I was there. And more of a tourist destination now. But great lifestyle. Spent most of my time out in the water surfing, so didn't get a whole lot of schoolwork done. We used to go to school on the bus, and every time we went past the surf, if it was good, the next day we wouldn't be at school. We'd be out in the water. So oftentimes the teachers knew exactly where we were, and oftentimes they'd come down to the surf in their own cars and chase us all back to school again. So where I was from, you either became a scholar or you became a surfer. And I took the surfing route, but luckily I sort of picked up art later in life, and no regrets.